like we're doing the show trying to like, educate people and also somewhat virtue signal to people out there that's like, hey, you're not alone. Like there are people in Oklahoma that believe in radical inclusion and, want fairness and justice for everyone and, to stop depriving people of, or stop people from having to suffer from material deprivation and all sorts of different stuff. But like how do we, because it's just like history repeating itself. Like demagogues happen throughout history and, there's, you can read about the rise of like Nazi Germany and like how, and like anytime things get hard for humans, like we're constantly like looking for someone to blame. So,
Yeah.
I mean, that's like very common. I just wonder like how to start winning those engagements. And maybe that's a bad way to put it. But like, I just trying to figure out how you grow the group of people that don't fall for that, that don't fall for this like fear of the other thing.
Right. Well, I think you do you take the same path that these people get radicalized to the right and you do it on the left too. I mean, I thoroughly believe like people start to get activated when they feel like something isn't working for them. And there are tons of people in Oklahoma that the system is not working for. And obviously, those are people of color, it's the poor, like it's all of these things. But it's also these like white Americans that don't understand how the system is failing them because all they're hearing is Trump, 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 Fox, 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 So it's like there are so many other people that could be radicalized, showing them the system that's hurting them. And like I see that in my own family, right? Like I see my aunt being like, oh my gosh, well, I had to pay this, this, this. And I'm like, you know what fixes that? Single payer.
Yeah.
And so I think that, as hopeless as it sounds, there are tons of people, and maybe the numbers aren't equal yet, but there are tons of people who are figuring out that the system isn't working for them and then acting and being activists in different ways. And on, I don't want to say our side because like that's too black and white, but I think there's also people realizing that the system isn't working for them and choosing to go about it in a way that is more holistic, that is more accepting, and is more like pleasing and, do-gooder kind of attitude.
Yeah. Yeah. And like I've long thought, like having a lot of interest in electoral politics, and since the title of our show is the next election, I figure I should weave that in. But like the parties are important for like candidate recruitment. They're also important for like platform and like what people are going to prioritize. And so when you see a guy like John Bennett get elected, and it's like, yikes, big yikes energy. Like this is not going the way we thought it would go. It makes the electoralism argument a lot hard to make because like the people that are going to be coming out of that thought process are not healthy, right? I mean, they're not coming at things with like a good energy that's going to lead anywhere. I mean,
Yeah. They're not thinking of their fellow Americans and fellow people on this planet as humans.
right.
Like that's the bottom line, is that there's this dehumanization that happens with people like Bennett, and even people who were running against him. Like there, like you said earlier, like there was not, you couldn't shoot a shotgun and hit a good candidate in this race.
Right.
Like to give a very Second Amendment friendly reference for you there.
Yeah, no, I mean, and it and it didn't even sound like the other two had much of a chance going in anyway. So, so yeah, I mean, it just kind of trying to figure out like what the response to this is. Like, how do we start to like undo some of that? Because like you hope that people can change, right? Like you hope that this isn't like just some immutable fact. And like, again, using my anecdotal story, like, I mean, these people weren't like this, and they may still not be. But again, if you vote for this guy, if you endorse this stuff, if you don't speak out, like I have to think at some point,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, at minimum, you're a sympathizer. Like maybe you don't fully believe that, you know,
It's
immigrants should be rounded
complacency.
up,
It's
but yeah.
complacency. A co-conspirator, all those different words that we could label those people as.
So it's like, how do we move, you know, I mean, to me, there's like multiple different strategies, like growing your base. So like finding like-minded people, encouraging them to get involved. I mean, that's the, working
Mm-hmm.
class movement. Then there's this group in the middle that maybe is sort of apathetic, but sort of leans one way or the other that you can sort of persuade. And then there's like sort of the lost cause, the people who are
Mm-hmm.
just so far gone. There's probably no coming back.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a question of like, because I'll tell you, we're working on some projects, behind the scenes, looking at 2022 races, and there is some fascinating data about how poorly somebody like a moderate old white dude like Joe Biden did in certain parts of Oklahoma. I mean, like crazily bad, below 10%. But yet medical marijuana did really well. Like got like 45, maybe 50 in some cases.
Yeah.
So it's like there is like this disconnect around partisanship that is really crazy. I mean, like it's gotten like really bizarre.
Yeah. I have to say though, the medical marijuana legislator got so many people to register to vote. And I remember, my family being like, I am dragging your butt to the polls for this. Like there were some people being like, you need to get registered for this because of this one specific bill. And so it's like there's such a disconnect between like the way people like think and what party aligns with that. Because there's so many people who are like, well, I think the healthcare system needs to change. Well, guess who wants to fix that? Or I think that taxes are too high. I think blah,
Well,
blah, blah, blah.
and they voted for it. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
Medicaid expansion does extremely well in even some counties where Joe Biden got like 8%, like of the
Yeah.
vote,
They
which
just don't
is,
understand like what that is connected with.
it's like, yeah.
And I should go back. I don't want to say that like these people don't understand or these voters like aren't capable of understanding. It's like that's not the message that I want to get across. I want to get across maybe, organizations like Oklahoma Progress Now are definitely helping this, but like we need to push that message more, and I go between thinking we need to push this message out to rural counties and to really like connect the dots for people, but also saying like we also need to work for our base. Like we need to work on them. And there's so many people. I mean, it is a fact that like Black Americans got Joe Biden elected.
Yeah.
And so we as an organization, as a party, as a belief system, we need to like pay them back. They are due so much. But like we need to work on earning that vote every single time.